welcome to Watching the Game. I'm your host, Idrees joined today by Yasser, Odeh, and Yunis. As the first thing on our bucket list today is the terribly amazing game yesterday between UCLA and Michigan. I think that was the best game I've ever seen.
Ever?
I'm just gonna describe the UCLA Bruins to the 2018 Loyola Chicago Ramblers, man. Another Cinderella team.
Is it a Cinderella when it's a blue blood? I mean, let's be real here.
I mean, that's why
Cinderella in the fact that they went all the way from the first four to the final four.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not the same underdog mentality because it's a famous basketball school. You know, I'm sure Yasser knows a lot about Michigan's struggles though yesterday. How about what you lay it on us?
There's a lot of struggles.
Michigan ambassador.
I think that was...
We couldn't hit our free throws. There were 5 free throws that we should have made. Pretty sure we went 4 for 9 from the free throw line. And all the missed free throws came from I think our lowest free throw percentage from our starters was 76%, which is Hunter Dickinson. 76% is pretty good to make his free throws. And our point guard, he missed 2 free throws. I think he shoots around 80%. He's got to be hitting these free throws in these close games. And we turned the ball over 8 times in the first half.
There was one player in specific also I would like to point out had probably the worst game of the tournament of anyone.
Anyway, I just want to know what the thought process in the huddle was to give Franz Wagner another chance after he airballed the first 3.
Well, I mean, no one else is gonna be able to get a shot off. I mean, Mike Smith is like 5'10".
Yeah, but
the only other person that will be able to get a shot off is
to have inbound. Why? Like,
I went back and looked at the plays. Wait, what'd you say?
It makes no sense. Juwan Howard's a great coach, but that made no sense. Why are you not throwing the ball up to Hunter Dickinson?
Yeah, that's what I thought they would do. At least the last play when they had 0.6 left.
Well, I went back and I looked at the play. There was multiple options, and it looked like they were also trying to set a screen for Brandon Johns to go up and get a tip as well, but it wasn't even open. So that's why he threw it up to Wagner. We had to just heave it.
Who was the dude that rebounded the air ball and missed the layup?
Oh,
Eli Brooks. That was stupid.
That was a mental just lapse. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
He probably thought like there was a shot clock. There wasn't even a shot clock that possession.
I know.
Right?
But if he grabbed the ball and just set his feet and pump faked, he would have had an easy layup.
Yeah.
I don't know why he shouldn't have rushed that. I guess he thought he was going to get blocked.
He got nervous.
I would say this about the game yesterday. It's great that UCLA won, so we got, like, in this crazy tournament, at least one double-digit seed in the Final Four. But also, you could tell throughout the game, neither one of these teams was going to be able to lay a finger on Gonzaga.
Hey, you never know. Johnny Juzang can lead.
Listen, there's nothing I would love more than for Johnny Juzang to just go off and destroy Gonzaga, alright? He's my new favorite player. Just absolutely my new favorite player now. This guy is insane. But no way, dude. He scored 28 of their points. The rest of their team scored 23. They were terrible. They were awful. They were just lucky Michigan was even worse.
True.
They also had 0 bench points. And their bench barely scores throughout the tournament. Like, that's not a recipe to beat, like, the top teams. Even though they did beat Michigan and Alabama. But still. Gonzaga's on another tier.
But Gonzaga's a different breed.
I'm very disappointed in USC. Very, very disappointed. I thought at least they would put up a really good fight with Gonzaga. At least like similar to how BYU had. But no, we're just going to get blown out immediately.
I mean, when literally like right off the tip off, turn the ball over. That's literally a recipe for disaster. As soon as they turned the ball over a few times, and like right when the game started, Gonzaga just took off.
It was 9-0, less than 2 minutes in, and they had to call timeout. That's like oof.
That's when you know it's heading in the wrong direction.
Gonzaga doesn't need any help beating you. Like if you turn the ball over and help them beat you, you just count yourself out.
Like, how did both Mobleys not show up this game? They were dominating the other games. This game, it's not even like Evan Mobley got destroyed by Drew Timme, and I'm very sad about it. I mean, he's going to be the number 2 pick. You can't be getting destroyed by Drew Timme out here.
Drew Timme is just nice.
See, that was the last thing I had going for me in my bracket. USC to the final. And honestly, it looked like it might happen. But of course, Gonzaga was just like, nah. Not a chance.
Your bracket was so odd. Can't lie.
My bracket was amazing. I don't know what you're talking about. LSU also got robbed. They deserve to be in the Final Four.
The LSU in the Elite Eight.
It didn't get robbed.
They got robbed. Right. On the other side of the bracket,
the Baylor Bears. Best team in the league.
Arkansas.
Yes, sir.
Arkansas. Moses Moody, also another lottery pick who had a terrible game in the Elite Eight. I don't understand what was up with that. It's not like Baylor. Like, obviously Baylor has good guards who can switch and all, but it's not like they can shut him down. That's exactly what they did.
They literally have a guy whose nickname is Off Night. Like, what do you mean they don't have a guard that can shut him down?
Because Moses Moody should be better than that. He should be able to beat them anyway,
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, you don't just get you don't get the nickname Off Night from casual defense, bro. That man is clamps.
Bro, I had no expectations for Moses Moody. The way he was playing in the games before this tournament, and now he's playing Baylor and against their guards. If anything, he's gonna do worse, bro. This man he didn't even show up in any of the games.
Donovan Mitchell in disguise playing for Baylor against Moses Moody.
I genuinely believe Donovan Mitchell replaced Davion Mitchell because he's been playing even better right now. He was tearing
his offense. One of the games wasn't up to par. He only had I feel one of the games he wasn't doing that good. It might have been against Villanova.
But he absolutely tore their entire team played badly against Villanova, but he just tore up Arkansas. It was just hitting all those threes, and he was getting screens from Vidal and driving in. I liked what I saw from him. His stock is going up for sure.
The other one, was it Houston, Oregon State?
Another game I'm really mad about because, oh my God, Oregon State. First of all, somehow they came back from down like 17. I don't know how. It's
after damn near everyone stopped watching.
They were down 17 with like 12 minutes left, and I had a feeling like, okay, if they're not coming back now, they're never gonna come back. And then it just slowly. Then suddenly 3 minutes left. Oh, the game's tied. I was like, oh crap. But then the rest of the game, they couldn't rebound at all the entire game, and then it reared its head in the final 3 minutes. They fouled Houston a bunch of times, and then they were just suddenly down 7. The game was over. Disappointed because Bill Walton could have had multiple Pac-12 teams in the Final Four like he deserved.
Bill Walton is a genius. I remember The thing is, I hated that man. But after seeing his genius unfold in the tournament, I can never doubt him again or criticize him again.
See, I was laughing at him when I was watching the Pac-12 championship and he was commentating. He was just saying a bunch of ridiculous stuff. I was like, yeah, keep calling Pac-12 Conference of Champions, whatever. And then next thing you know, they were the Conference of Champions. They would have had 4 teams in the Elite Eight if the committee didn't match up Oregon and USC.
But still, didn't they have a 4th of the Sweet 16?
Yeah.
Big Ten and the Pac-12 took a complete reverse.
They're just gonna disown Colorado because they didn't get into the Sweet 16.
Who did Colorado play? They played Florida State.
Yeah.
And they lost.
They sold
really
Bill
bad.
Walton's bag.
Alright, let's talk superlatives from the entire tournament up to now. Most surprising team besides UCLA.
Oregon State.
Yeah. I mean,
Wait, no, Oral Roberts. Are you guys crazy?
hey, people can differ on opinion.
Yeah, I think Oral Roberts.
Oral Roberts had a great victory against Ohio State.
Oh, Max Hayes is also up to one of my favorite players now. Just a baller.
He almost called game versus Arkansas.
Oh, man, just
insane.
Their run in the tournament ended in a pretty sad fashion.
He played every minute, and he put up numbers that nobody has since Steph Curry. So, I don't know, man. Yeah, he's a sophomore. If he came back, Oral Roberts, all of their team is not like sophomores, juniors. So if he came back, they could actually be really good next year. If he went to the NBA, honestly, he could make it really quick.
Probably, because he'd be like a Steph Curry, TJ McCollum type. Not like up to their level,
Yeah.
but like...
Yeah, like he could thrive as a scorer off the bench. So I liked what I saw out of him. Oregon State, like you said, another team that like Ethan Thompson had a terrible game in the Elite Eight too, which sucks a lot because he was so good before that.
Yeah, they needed
it.
And they were like, yeah, he's only missed 1 free throw the entire tournament. Then he missed like 5 that game.
Yeah.
So the jinx goes.
To be honest,
the commentator jinx.
To be honest, they did not play well against Loyola either, but they got bailed out because Loyola couldn't hit any threes. Like when I think about it now, they took a lot of contested shots and made them. Loyola got a bunch of open shots and just missed. So there's a good question about whether they should have even been there, but I mean, they beat Tennessee and Oklahoma State, who have Keon Johnson and Cade Cunningham. So even before that, that was impressive. What other teams?
Odeh, just for you, North Texas.
That was bogus. That was terrible. I was so upset, bro.
See,
we forced overtime, and I was like, oh yeah, it's over now. It's over now. And then just...
Oh yeah, it was quickly over in overtime. Just not for a team.
Yeah.
See, I should have seen... If I knew North Texas, if their lineup had played the most minutes together in the country, and that they were all, like, upperclassmen too, like, I would have been more in on that upset. Because Purdue's a really young team. They'll be really good next year, but right now they're still a little early.
What about Evelyn Christian beating Texas? That was heartbreaking too, because I had Texas in my Final Four, and they lost in the first game.
See, the March Madness app was like, yeah, you should totally pick Abilene Christian. I was like, no, they're not good enough, and then they ended up winning. Then they got rocked by UCLA. Dude, I think I'm pretty sure Okay, so obviously they beat Texas, even though they had just won the Big 12. Everyone's like, oh no, Shaka Smart, terrible coach. I was like, okay, whatever, maybe Abilene Christian is secretly good. No, they get wrecked by UCLA. They couldn't shoot the ball at all. This dude literally ran away to Marquette. He knew he was going to get fired. He just ran away.
That man fled the scene.
Honestly,
less than a
pretty
week
smart
later.
of him. Like, Marquette, that's still a Power 6 job.
True.
Well, like, oh my god. He was so embarrassed. He's just like, I'm good.
Fled the scene.
I wanted to talk about Rutgers. I'm very disappointed in Rutgers because they choked against Houston.
I wanted to see them win.
Bro, they went into the stall offense, even though they were only up by 4 with 2 minutes left.
Yeah, if they were just a little more aggressive on like 2 possessions before the end of the game, they would have won.
Right,
only one possession game win.
Keep running the offense, but no, they decided to be idiots.
They just got scared. Like. I think they would have beaten Syracuse too. So we could have had Rutgers randomly in the Elite Eight.
Rutgers repping the Big Ten. That would have been odd.
Also, Ron Harper did not play well either. A lot of good players didn't play well.
Depending on who comes back, they'll be really, really good next year.
Yeah.
If everyone stays like Geo Baker.
Yeah, I would expect them to come back strong. I mean, Big Ten, I think it's going to be Purdue and Michigan at the top next year. Probably. Because Illinois is going to be good again next year, but I would assume it's probably going to go to the NBA. Absolute travesty that we only got 2 March Madness games from him in his career. Travesty. But I would think Purdue would be at the top. Ohio State. EJ
Liddell just
Dwayne Washington opting for the draft or no?
I don't know about Dwayne Washington, but Liddell declared for the draft.
Dwayne Washington
he's keeping his eligibility.
Is probably low as heck right now. Because he was the reason they lost to Oral Roberts.
Yeah.
Everything you could do wrong in overtime and the fourth quarter, he did wrong. He just played way too much hero ball.
He choked.
I was glad Ohio beat Virginia. I saw that one coming.
Yeah, same here.
And then they lost. Virginia, kind of disappointing. I mean, not Virginia, Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, I thought both Creighton...
Ohio lost to Creighton.
I did not think both Creighton and Villanova would make the Sweet 16, but somehow they did. Like, that never happens. Villanova losing in the Sweet 16, that's like, they either win it all or they lose in the second round. Creighton didn't make a Sweet 16 for like 30 years.
Creighton should have lost to USCB or UCSB in the first round.
Oh, they lucked out hard there too.
That was bogus. I was so hyped.
They definitely deserve to lose that game. But I mean, then they got rocked by Gonzaga, so probably what we expected.
Got rocked by Gonzaga.
Iowa.
Zagorowski couldn't save him there.
Iowa, like I thought before the tournament, bro, Iowa's defense was terrible. And then Oregon came in. Oregon doesn't even have anyone to like guard Garza, and they blew them out. I like that a lot.
Garza got in his bag. He had like 36 and no one else did anything.
Yeah, but then Oregon was just like, yeah, you can score, but we're just going to score more than you because we at least play a little bit of defense. They shut down the perimeter.
True,
Like,
true, true.
Bohannon, those guys, they didn't do much. It was only Garza.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just Will Richardson went off.
Okay, thank you.
And then they ended up losing to USC. So, any other big... I'm trying to think.
Covered everything. But do the Final Four predictions.
Give me Baylor, Gonzaga, and Baylor. It's kind of crazy that in this crazy tournament where we had the highest average Sweet 16 seeds, it's going to be the two teams everyone thought was going to play in the final anyway.
Imagine in this crazy tournament, in this magical world, that we see UCLA winning it all.
It would be insane. But
Wouldn't be the first time.
I'd have to even keep it close with Gonzaga, to be honest. Gonzaga is just something else. But I saw that Gonzaga and Baylor, and then Baylor winning in the final.
I just don't know, man. If Kentucky couldn't even go undefeated in 2015, I don't know if Gonzaga can finish it off.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference between this team and Kentucky is that Kentucky was had better NBA prospects. This team just plays the way they are they're connected, their chemistry, they play for one another. It's different.
That is true.
That's the point.
I think this Baylor team is better than the Wisconsin team Kentucky lost to that year too. So, I mean,
that Wisconsin team. Wasn't that Wisconsin team their best player was Sam Decker?
Sam Decker and Frank.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
not to be a
they were
bust
damn good
as an
in college,
NBA.
though.
True.
They had only barely lost to Duke, so it's gonna be close.
Definitely. But I guess you want to give your predictions before we move on.
Baylor.
Yeah, I go Baylor and Gonzaga winning.
Gonzaga, Baylor.
Damn, no Houston.
We got a 3-1. No Houston.
Nah. I like Houston a lot, but I just don't think they're good enough.
Mm-hmm. On to the trade deadline for the NBA.
Yes. Please. Okay. About the Bulls.
I'm gonna let you guys take it because you guys are Bulls fans, not me.
Okay, I like the fact that we're okay, we're not gonna just sit around, not do anything, hope the picks work out, etc. I'm glad about that. But also, I just don't like really giving up our first round pick in a year that's a very strong class, and we still need more pieces, clearly. I also don't like the fact that we kept Lauri Markkanen over Wendell Carter. I think both are probably lost causes at this point, but we should have gotten something for Lauri Markkanen. And Vucevic is great. I'm glad we got him, but it's a hefty price.
Yeah. They got rid of unnecessary players, in my opinion. Markkanen should have been one of them as well. Who'd they get rid of? Carter, Porter, Gafford, Cornette, and Hutchinson.
Yeah. That had to be done. Hutchinson is bad. Gafford, he's okay. But I get wanting a better player behind instead. Cornette, he's obviously bad. Porter sucks, and he makes all that money. So we also lose our cap space for this offseason, but there weren't that many good free agents left because most of them signed extensions. And then Carter, who's been bad this year too. So I mean, at this point, you don't have your first round pick unless somehow you end up in the lottery. You get very lucky. So you have to, what's it called? You have to make the playoffs. You have to see what you can do. You need to aim for that 4 or 5 seed. Avoid the Bucks, 76ers, Nets first round. Give yourself a chance. Yeah, I mean, it came out of nowhere. I don't think anyone thought the Bulls were going to get Nikola Vucevic.
Right now, we're seated as 10th, and we would play the Celtics in the play-in tournament.
All right, we can't. Play-in tournament aim was fine before the season. Now we have to actually start winning. I mean, we've lost the 2 games.
I mean, we have a fire duo now.
So we have to start winning now. Otherwise, we could be in a very bad position.
We need Levine to get healthy. Pretty banged up right now.
Yeah, he needs some rest.
Troy, I love the fact that we got Troy Brown though. It's like Tyson's decent, but Troy Brown's gonna be great for this team.
He's a great defensive presence. And Javonte Green.
Javonte Green, just end of the bench type of guy. He's not bad or anything, but we're not banking on him. You know, he's just there.
Yeah, I see.
Let's see. Alright, let's move on to the Nuggets. So, they got Aaron Gordon. You know.
Lost Gary Harris and RJ Hampton.
Yeah.
And got JaVale McGee.
So, the Nuggets are they're fine. They can give up RJ Hampton. He's a nice prospect, but they still have young players. They're first, it's a first round pick, whatever. I don't know. I know they won a couple games since this, but I'm still not totally sold on them. Like, first of all, I'm big on Gary
the Aaron
Harris.
Gordon trade.
Like, I'm big on Gary Harris. I know
but he was out after the season so far.
Yeah. Like, obviously the injury problems are there, but when he finally came back against the Jazz the last 2 games, he was big in helping stop Donovan Mitchell. So, like, the purpose of this trade was like, okay, we got someone we can kind of throw at LeBron and AD a little bit, but we're also kind of giving up someone we can put on, like, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, those guys. So I understand.
Kind of feel like they got Gordon in replace of Paul Millsap. I think he's going to be released by the team by the end of the year.
No, I think they'll keep him. But now you don't have to play Paul Millsap as much in the clutch.
They realized, bro, it's because they realized they needed their Jeremy Grant. They were not the same without Jeremy Grant.
Yeah, they need another guy like that.
So, I mean, obviously Aaron Gordon isn't as good as Jeremy Grant. I've said this since the beginning of the season. Even after this trade, I think the Nuggets are still going to be out after the first round.
Who do you have? I have the potential to win a first round series.
I mean,
I feel like,
but I think right now I was
playing at an MVP caliber. He's having an MVP caliber type of season, and I feel like they might not be Western Conference. They might not be in the Western Conference Finals, but I think they could win. Can get past the first round.
I think, like, just today, without knowing what the matchups are going to end up being, I'm taking the Jazz to advance, the Lakers, the Clippers, assuming they're healthy, all of them. Last spot, I would say, is a toss-up. I wanted to say the Mavericks at the beginning of the year, but they haven't been good enough. Warriors, obviously, they've had a lot of struggles. So right now, that last spot in the semifinals would be Nuggets, Suns, Trailblazers. And I think I would pick the other
Spurs as well
before the Nuggets. Spurs, they're more like play-in team, like borderline playoff team. I don't think they could be any of the top playoff teams. I like them, but
interesting enough, the Pelicans are 12th seed.
I don't think they're gonna make it. They're still in their like transition, but they need to start really putting the team around Zion and Ingram soon. They can't keep experimenting with all this stuff. Like I'm pretty sure the top 10 right now. I don't think it's close enough between the top 10 and the bottom 5 that there'll be any change there. We probably know the 10 teams that are in the playoffs / play-in. Grizzlies are gonna end up 10. That's good.
Gonna automatically eliminate Minnesota, Houston, OKC, Sacramento.
Yeah.
Then it's just a matter if New Orleans. Anyway.
Sacramento sucks. OKC is tanking, but also not tanking. But then Shai got injured, so definitely tanking now. Houston, they need to keep their pick. So I mean,
Houston doesn't have their pick.
If it's top 4, they have it. So they need.
You sure?
Tank. Yeah. So they absolutely need to tank. What other trades were there? Celtics got Evan Fournier. And apparently they were close to getting Vucevic, but they didn't get him.
They got Evan Fournier, and he went 0 for 10 in his debut.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They got him for shooting purposes. Not sure if he's that good of a defensive player.
At least now, like, it's better now for their bench because their bench has gone pretty weak. He can kind of be like Gordon Hayward was for them last year, like a 4th scoring option.
Yeah, I see him as that kind of guy.
But the bigger thing for the Celtics is they need Kemba to stay healthy, and they need to just, I don't know, figure it out. Maybe Robert Williams can play better than Tice has now that Tice is on the Bulls. I'm not too sure about that. But this just keeps telling me, like, why did this team not sign Christian Wood?
Yeah. He was underrated, man. Last year, before the hiatus hit, he was balling out. I saw the future bright in him.
And, like, apparently they tried to trade for him last year. They tried to trade for Capella. Tried to trade for Vucevic. They've tried to do that, but, like, still. Eventually, you gotta get someone.
Danny ain't just stingy, man. Danny ain't just stingy, man. He's never gonna give up, like, a full-on, really good package.
Yeah. At this point, like, they're relying on the younger guys that they've drafted to see if they can, like, step up. Pritchard, Romeo Langford, Aaron Nesmith, Robert Williams.
Bro,
Williams as well.
Tatum is only in his 3rd year, right?
I believe so.
Fourth.
Is it? Oh,
4th, yeah, because Doncic and Trae Young was drafted 3rd.
Tatum's 4th.
No.
And Jaylen Brown's 5th.
Yeah. That's it.
So honestly, this year it wouldn't be too bad. This is Robert Williams' 2nd year. They still have their team isn't like very old.
Yeah, no.
And so honestly, if they like wanted to like tank, but like not not full on tank, but like almost like a retool, like get in the lottery, get like a top 10 pick, because the draft is so good, and then you get an immediate impact player in the draft from top 10, and then immediately go back into contention next year. That wouldn't be so terrible.
I mean, I get that, but it's a team that's made the Eastern Conference Finals 3 times in the last 4 years, which is great.
Yeah, they have playoff experience.
It's a lot of experience, there's a lot of success, but we need them to take that next step. Taking a step back like they have this year, that doesn't bode well. Like, what if this was their window? Now they have to pay Tatum and Brown all that money. They're gonna have less money to spend. They don't have all those high picks that they had a couple of years ago. So they still have a bright future, but if this year goes by, they go like 1st round exit, that's a big missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting thing I read. Apparently, the Nets offered Spencer Dinwiddie to the Warriors for Kelly Oubre.
It's interesting.
I think that's pretty, not the worst idea for both teams. Like, the Warriors...
Yeah, but I don't think Golden State is looking for a guard.
Well, Dinwiddie's out for the year anyway. But the thing is, isn't Dinwiddie like close to 30? And Oubre's like, what, 27, 28?
I think it would...
Yeah.
I think they're around the same age. I think, honestly, the Warriors might have done it if Dinwiddie wasn't becoming a free agent this year. Because otherwise, I mean, they might still have his bird rights, but if he had a year left on his contract at least, that would have made a lot of sense for the Warriors. You're just like, okay, let's load up. Dinwiddie's a better player than Oubre. Klay Thompson will be back next year. Wiseman will take a leap. Steph will still be Steph. Draymond will still be good. Like, they could consider that and be like, we'll focus on next year. But apparently they were just like, okay, we just want to make the playoffs this year. So I get it because Dinwiddie wasn't under contract. But it would have been something really interesting. And then I think the last big trade was Oladipo to the Heat for basically nothing.
I mean, Miami, big three, they got Oladipo, Bam, and Jimmy. How far do you guys think they can go?
We have to see which Oladipo shows up.
Half the time he's out with load management.
And he hasn't.
Well, honestly, I love this trade for the Heat because they gave up dudes who aren't in the rotation. Kelly Olynyk is technically in the rotation, but that man is buns, so it doesn't really matter. And then they got a guy who they honestly need because they haven't been too good this year. Honestly, in my opinion, it's low risk because all the signs are pointing to Victor Oladipo signing to them next year during the offseason. So if anything, they got an extra year to build chemistry with him.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It's not like it costs them anything. Maybe their center depth is a little hurting right now because they didn't end up getting Aldridge. He went to the Nets. They didn't get Drummond. So they probably have to sign... Cousins is going to the Clippers, so they probably have to sign some okay center, any center. They also got Bielitsa. They improved. They improved, but they just need Jimmy to stay healthy. Because with Jimmy, this is the team that can make the finals. Though I don't think they'll beat the Nets. Without Jimmy, this team doesn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, just incredibly mismanaged by the Rockets because they ended up getting nothing for Harden except picks. Not even a good young player. They could have gotten Simmons or Karis LeVert and Jarrett Allen. Instead, they have nothing. How did they not get at least one of those? How did the Cavs end up with Jarrett
Allen? We finesse now. We give him Dante Exum got our center of the future. That's a finesse.
It just doesn't make sense to me. It's incredibly mismanaged by them. Now the Heat have at least a decent bench scorer now who can take pressure off of Jimmy. And best case scenario, they have a third all-star. So I like what the Heat did.
Yeah, I feel like this year's Tyler Hero is the same as Kobe White. They both came off the bench last year, just there for scoring purposes, and then now they're running the point, which kind of reduced their production to their team. I think, that's definitely going to take a burden off of Hero's shoulders.
Yeah, Hero's been struggling a little, but now it'll be better. One last thing, or no, two more. So the Norman Powell Gary Trent swap. That was weird. I think
Portland wins that all the way.
Yeah, I think Powell is better, but the thing is, Gary Trent fit better because he played off ball with the Blazers. I don't know why the Raptors did this. Honestly, I don't understand both, but I at least see what the Blazers are thinking. Like, Powell is better. He can be off the bench, even though if you play him with McCollum and Lillard, it's terrible defensively. But off the bench, he's a great scorer. I don't know. Like, Gary Trent is good, but I would have thought the Raptors could at least get a pick for him. He's good. Norman Powell's good.
True, but I like Gary Trent, and he's younger than Powell, so.
I kind of see potential in Trent. He's a shooter.
Yeah, maybe he thinks Trent is like even better than we think. Like, we think Trent is pretty solid, pretty good, but maybe Masai Ujiri thinks he's like insanely good secretly. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then the last thing is, like, the Raptors also didn't trade Kyle Lowry after they acted like they were gonna trade him for months. Neither the Heat or 76ers bit. 76ers ended up getting George Hill instead. I mean, if the 76ers could have gotten him, but they didn't want to give up Thibault and Tyrese Maxey, I get it. Because Thibault's, you need his defense in the playoffs too. Though Lowry also would give you what he gives you. It's just kind of surprising that they didn't end up trading him.
Agreed. And they made a couple moves that they made it look like they were going to do it. They opened up a few roster spots.
Yeah, that was really weird. Like, we thought, oh no, it's happening, and then nothing happened. Yeah.
That's all we have. That's about it for today.
One last thing, UConn winning the women's tournament, right?
Paige Bucker.
Yeah.
Paige Buckers is a GOAT.
Facts right there. Alright, we will see you guys next time. Signing out.
Peace.